Younger millennial and older Gen Z TV shows were just built significantly different than the TV shows that are played today. From Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, to Regular Show, to Invader Zim, to Adventure Time, to other ones like this that just incite an uncanny valley response from me and many other children as they were watching these shows growing up. And to this very day, I still get freaked out to this ad playing with the baby crying, and it woke me up at 3 a.m. when I was a kid. Why is this playing on Cartoon Network?
I have an annuity, but I need cash now.
Yeah, just, I don't know, 2005 to 2015. I feel like it's just a really specific time frame for some of the best TV shows ever, and I want to share some of my personal ones from my childhood with you today. And I swear, some of these TV shows had such adult content that as a kid either went over my head, or when I'd watch it, I'd look to see if my mom was around, just see if I had to turn my TV off, because it was Total Drama Island and Heather's Top came off. All that having been said, me, Detective Caleb, born in 2001, will be comparing some TV shows and ads from when I was a kid that I both enjoyed and scared the absolute shit out of me, to TV shows and ads that have been released within the last couple years. Hi. Welcome to the green screen intro segment to a video that will otherwise have no more green screen segments. That's right. Don't get used to this, because I'm out of here, because I recorded the footage like a week ago, and I'm doing the intro now. My name is Caleb, and if you enjoy videos like this one, I try to release a video that is roughly a similar length to this one. I don't know how long it is. At the maximum every 2 weeks, but I try to aim for every week, and that never happens. Anyways, if you enjoy content like this or do anything as small as even leave a like, I appreciate you and I love you as a friend, and I hope you enjoy. Now here's me from 1 week ago. Bye. Skipping directly over Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide because that was more of my older sister's generation of shows, and I considered that a big kid show. Also, I don't want to talk about that show after the things I found out that happened on that set.
We got busy in quite a few places.
That being said, what do y'all know about Zack and Cody? A show about two boys named Zack and Cody who were played by Dylan and Cole Sprouse, and their mother, who I had confusing feelings for at the time, which when I got older I just realized I'd had a crush on her. They lived in a hotel suite even, i.e. Sweet Life. This was one of those Disney shows that was just such a fun concept to me, and I was like, no, I live in a regular house and I'm fed and I have a roof over my head. This show aired on Disney Channel from 2005 to 2008 when they inevitably made the spin-off Sweet Life on Deck. That show sucked, we're not talking about that. And this was one of those shows that was just so fun for me as a kid to watch. The show is about Zack and Cody and their mother, as I mentioned, who live in a hotel, and they basically just wreak havoc for everybody around, including London Tipton, who was the local celebrity, played by Brenda Song, who is a popular actor for Disney Channel movies back in the day. And side note, I might call her Miranda at some point in this video. I don't know why. I can't control myself. I keep saying Miranda Song and correcting myself. I don't know if I'll do it again. I don't know. And Maddie, who is Miranda Song, I just did it again. Okay. And Maddie, played by Ashley Tisdale, who is London Tipton's personal doormat.
I had no idea Fabrizio sold dresses over the internet. I'll order you one. What are you, a 14?
As a kid, deprecating jokes like that were really funny, but now that I'm older, it just seems douchey and mean. I don't know. And then there's Mr. Mosby, the owner of the hotel, and his actor murdered somebody in 1992. Before going further, yes, I'm laughing, not at the fact that somebody literally died because of him, but I am going to go over it, but I just want to say that that part's not funny. Just the course of events where he murders somebody and then still proceeds to get hired to be on this show years later is interesting to me, but moving on. In 1992, the actor Phil Lewis, who would later play Mr. Mosby on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, gets in a drunk driving accident, being the drunk driver, and killed a 21-year-old girl whose name I will respect on this video and not say. He was charged for vehicular manslaughter, and his blood alcohol level was measured at 3 times the legal limit for intoxication. He then spent 5 years in prison, and when he got out, he went on the show and gave us banger lines like this.
No running in my lobby.
Also, the elephant that is in the room, the complete banger of an intro song.
Here I am in your life, here you are in mine. Yes, we have a sweet life, most of the time, you and
a time when alternative music was still relatively mainstream and people like Fall Out Boy were on the radio for music that wasn't this.
I've been waiting up, 'cause I can't get enough. I feel I'm fading.
We got banger intro songs like this one. If you're in your bedroom playing Halo and your sister is watching TV in the living room and you hear this song, you turn off your you go running immediately to watch, if you're me. I rewatched the first episode in preparation for making this video, and I had no idea how many jokes went over my head at the time.
I just received a fax from your father. You are to cease all social activities until your grades improve.
That is so unfair. I have to keep my grades up, but his new wife is allowed to drop out of college?
Dad's new controversially younger woman mentioned. Also, Esteban the doorman, who is basically a ninja and deserves a raise but never gets one. He's here. One upside to this show is that there is no Dan Schneider. This is a Dan Schneider free environment. However, that doesn't mean they didn't deal with their fair share of Hollywood predatory behavior. In 2023, the actor that played Zach and Cody's mom, Kim Rhodes, appeared on the Vulnerable podcast, where she opened up about how which kid was it? On multiple occasions, Dylan and Cole Sprouse would deal with a lot of hatred and negativity from the producers of the show, telling them what to and not to eat, how it affects their image, etc. Quoting one particular moment.
Someone of significant power came down to the craft service, which is where they have all the tasty food, for those of you who don't know.
It's the best place.
And screamed at the number of donuts and said no more junk food until he looks like him again. And I lit into I was like, you do not. You don't have the right to say that to a child. You don't have the right to be writing for children if that is your attitude. Never again.
There were also multiple jokes on the show written at the expense of their mother, where Dylan and Cole refused to make jokes about Kim in a negative light, and I think that's kind of cute. All that aside, I look at this show with a lot of nostalgia because it showed a fun way of living and how living in a hotel could be, and something about just kids causing mischief. I feel like I wanted to be a mischievous kid a lot. But I just played video games and built Legos. While being just a funny kids show, it also did spread good messages, even if the people working on it were trash. Serious themes such as not having friends, dealing with divorced parents, loss, and loneliness were things that were portrayed on the show, which do spread a good message and involve more people. You can also feel really good about going back and watching this show, unlike iCarly, because in a world full of Hollywood extortion, particularly towards kids and women, we have people like Kim Rhodes that was on set protecting the kids. So that's all I had to say about Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I loved that show as a kid. It's all downhill from here. If you know, you know, and if you know, I'm sorry. You know that one meme of Billie Eilish crying and there's a side-by-side of her next to a puppet that looks just like her? That was from the show Mr. Meaty, and the puppet in particular's name was Josh. Josh is part of the duo of Josh and Parker of Mr. Meaty, where they're the only two working in this fast food establishment where they serve customers, and the meat just comes alive. Think of it like an even more fucked up version of a regular show. They're going about their business, living their everyday lives, but every day doing normal things causes things like a genuinely terrifying moment of a raw chicken coming alive. Like, this show was so out of pocket that if you told me that there was a Meet Jesus Rising episode, I wouldn't question it at all.
Maybe we should go to a movie.
Mr. Meaty premiered September 22nd, 2006. The show continued to air until May 23rd, 2009, and it ended with 2 whole seasons, which I want to say I was there for. I watched the show when I was a kid, and I didn't love it. My mom certainly hated it, but yeah, I want to be a hipster about that. I watched this show. Look at me now. Well, we talked about Sweet Life of Zach and Cody for the last segment, and the humor was pretty funny and went over my head as a kid. I went back, watched the first episode, really found it enjoyable. Mr. Meaty, I can't say the same for.
I think there's one over there. One over here or something?
It's just brain rot. The show was also canceled for not only low ratings, but get this, vegetarians hated the show. Can you believe it? According to Google, Vegetarian parents did not like this show because they were scared that it would spread meat-eating ordeals to their children, where the entire show is centered around meat. It's very much giving Gene Belcher vibes from Bob's Burgers, and I don't need to explain further. Jared and Parker would try to get through their everyday lives serving meat. Well, things would just happen around them. For example, this episode where there's a tapeworm that crawls inside Parker and then gets eaten by somebody else. Just take this episode where Josh is trying to create a girlfriend from not only meat, but his own DNA, and she comes out looking like the Colossal Titan.
Josh, I know we've just met. I feel like I've known you for years.
By the way, as I mentioned, I did watch this show as a kid, and my mom hated it so much. The intro song went so hard, though, I can't even argue with it.
All God's creatures, fresh off the grill. So come on down to Mr. Meaty, where friends meet to eat.
All of God's creatures fresh off the grill. That's the most metal thing I've heard in my life. Oh my god, the intro song to this show went so much harder than both Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and I guess the Mr. Meaty one didn't go that hard, but in a time where we had bands like Simple Plan singing the intro to Scooby-Doo, we have the 16 intro.
Life begins after school. That's when we bend all the rules. Time to hang with all my friends. We like to be together in a place where we belong. I'm 16, starting to find my way.
And as I mentioned, the intro song incites a very physical reaction from me that I don't want to talk about. Nikki Wong. She is one of the 6 members of the group in the show 16. Wait a minute. That just clicked in my head. Is that why it's called 16? Because there are 6 teenagers? Wait a minute. Oh my god. The show 16 was definitely... Play the clip.
Disgusting!
Get out of the bathroom!
No, wait, Jonesy. I still have to brush my teeth.
Whoa.
Whoa, what?
Towel. Other one.
Something, to say the least, for me when I was watching this at 10 years old. The show 6, that's the last time I'll make that joke, is about a group of teenagers that would hang out at the mall. Remember when a mall was a place you could hang out? You technically still could, but it would echo like a cave because no one goes to malls anymore. I miss going to the mall anyways. You already know Nikki. Then there's Jen. Jude, who I wanted to be as a kid alongside Duncan from Total Drama Island. Caitlin, Wyatt, and Jonesy. Jonesy and Nikki here were the main relationship of the show, similar to Ross and Rachel if you watched Friends. The plot of 16 is just that. There are 6 16-year-olds who are just hanging out in a mall, and some of them have jobs, but all of them are balancing school and friendships and relationships. I am so surprised that this show was on Cartoon Network of all things. It feels like a Disney XD show. I mean, when I say that this show was just like a cartoon version of Victorious or Zoe 101, I mean it. Like, when I was watching this show, I felt like I wasn't watching a cartoon. I was watching a big kid show, and I was very, very excited to turn this age and hang out at a mall and cry blood. What I mean by that, this character right here will cry and her makeup runs like normal, but when I was a kid, I thought she was crying blood, and I don't know why. Like, I guess I get it because I didn't understand fully, but why did I think she was crying blood for the longest time? It didn't click until I got older and like rewatched the first episode for this video that I realized that her makeup was just running. Although her eyes are like super like bloodshot, which I get it, she's crying, but it's a cartoon, Jesus. The show also has a lot of reviews from people, particularly on Reddit, basically saying that this sold a lie of what it would actually be like to be a teenager, because being a teenager, at least for me, was just a lot of homework, playing video games alone. Meanwhile, on this show, while there are breakups and stuff, they always have their friends around them, and they always stay within the friend group. Even if somebody in the group breaks up with somebody else from the group, they still all remain best friends and have a fun time at work. Even the people at the lemonade stand that they're sitting at get to just lounge and ignore their customers and ignore their job to hang out with their friends. It looked like the life for me. Side note, I told people that it was possible to cry blood for too many years. Anyways, this show is Canadian, by the way. it loses points for being Canadian. However, it did run from 2004 to 2007, and there are 24 whole episodes that are banned in America. These episodes were banned mainly due to dirty jokes like this one.
You're hot.
So you don't think I'm fun enough, huh? Well, how fun is this?
Or perhaps this episode where Jude is talking about a skateboarding tournament and he's talking about how he wants to remove all of his body hair because it will weigh him down and without it he'll go faster. Flawless logic.
That move, man. Do it again.
Thanks, dudes, but I gotta start training for the speed skating event.
Speaking of Total Drama Island, is this guy played by the guy that plays Chris McLean?
Alrighty, campers! Today's challenge is to infiltrate this furry convention.
It is. It is the guy that plays Chris McLean. What the fuck? So naturally, Jude and the other guys in the show decide to go get a full body wax. And we get this scene.
Oh, yeah.
Visually, it's one thing, but to add sound effects to make us believe even more the idea that you're pushing is crazy. Scenes like that were banned in America. Or the clip in the beginning of this segment that I showed you of her top coming off. She's 16, and the thing that hurts me inside the most is that you know they animated that and then went back and blurred it in post. Even the bad things in this show, like drama, breakups, etc., are portrayed in such a positive light. Even when someone cries, the message in the end is still, well, at least you have your friends by your side. We're not going anywhere in this mall. It's gonna be okay. And none of us had that in reality. At least I don't think. I sure didn't. This show just felt so mature to watch as a kid despite it being a cartoon, and even with the dirty jokes included and stuff. I mean, I just kind of loved it. A lot of people hold this show to like a really high regard and have a lot of nostalgia for it. And actually in 2018 there was a little reunion episode with the voice actors of the show. Some honorable mentions that I thought about adding to this video but didn't talk about because I felt like they were a little bit too mainstream were Codename Kid Next Door, which is a show that I actively avoided watching as a kid because it just seemed so boring to me. Something about that show just had like a thick layer of smog over it, like Los Angeles. But it was about 5 kids, all of which codenamed 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course, who can forget the iconic number 5. They were basically just these secret agent kids, except the main one was bald and had these like big ass ears, and also his head was shaped like a lemon. It always freaked me out, not in the sense where it scared me or anything, but I was just like, why is this kid, this is Stewie Griffin. Spot the difference. The pictures are the same. Then there was Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which I may cover in another video if I do make a sequel to this video. The plot was that the Grim Reaper basically owed a favor to the kids, Billy and Mandy, and they get into all kinds of different situations, one of which is where they meet Dracula. I remember, it was Grim himself gets sick, being a skeleton somehow, gets sick from cactus juice, and this guy who's literally a vampire is telling him how to do it over and over again, but he won't help him. He won't help him. The comedy style in this show is also extremely grotesque. It was just boogers and Billy's big nose. Mandy was the brains and also extremely mean and scary. Billy was just... Together, Grim, Billy, and Mandy get into all kinds of situations, including going to hell itself without calling it hell. Or another example, Billy's toys coming alive and them having to fight the toys to death. Anyways, there were a lot of shows that I did not cover in this video that I would have definitely liked to, so I might come back for another video like this one, but as always, if you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more just like this one. Bye!